Live from the Export Beer Garden studios, this is the feature-length agenda for the 4th of May.
The Agenda, an alternative commentary collective podcast.
G'day there, welcome along to the feature-length Thursday agenda podcast. Myself, G Lane, Manaia Stewart, and James McOnie. G'day, mate.
Hey, great to be here. Yes, what a week it's been. The munnet is huge. That blazer you're wearing, a red, yellow, and black stripy number. Can you tell me where you got that from?
I got sent it from the Chiefs. They said, look, we're sick of McOnie. You're our new media golden boy.
Oh, wow.
After the commentary, I think they might have heard me calling Sean Stevenson Scotty J. Stevenson when he scored that try.
When did you get this blazer?
Got sent it. I got sent it today.
When? Oh,
Today.
shit.
Today.
That's bullshit. I was there yesterday.
It's beautiful. It's got Neil Barnes on it. It's actually Neil Barnes.
It's Barnesies.
Barnesies.
I played rugby with Neil Barnes at New Plymouth Old Boys and I still don't get the blazer. This is bullshit.
Is Barnesy dead or something? Why'd they send me
No.
Barnesy?
Barnesies alive. He's alive.
Okay.
He's coaching Taranaki.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, obviously left his
His
blazer behind. Is he dead, Barnesy? Here we go. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's just get into the agenda then, shall we? First on the agenda, why is Manaia Stewart dressed like Fred Durst?
Yeah, well, look, I've come across, we've got so much sports memorabilia in here, and I've put on one of the Warriors hats and realised that it's one of those early 2000s ones where it goes straight across.
The stretchy one.
The
stretchy one?
Yeah, the stretch fit hat, and then I've turned it backwards so you can't even tell that it's a... Warriors hat, but regardless, we keep rolling. Come on!
You know what? Those stretch hats, I hated those stretch hats because your mate with a really fat head would borrow it.
Yeah, it's
and
me.
And it could never, and you could never come back. You go, bro, can I borrow your hat? No, not really, eh?
I'll tell you what, though.
And then you bring it back and it's just stretched to all buggery.
If you need to move in now, move out, hands up, hands down, back up, tell me what you're going to do now. There's no better hat than the flexi fit hat, I think, for me.
The way I said, did Fred Durst also do it all for the nookie?
He did.
He did it.
He did a lot of it.
Okay, that's right.
He did a lot.
Not all of it.
No, but can you... I
feel like there's a gag in here that you're leading me into.
No, I'm just wanting you
know
to...
the words.
Can I do it all for the nookie? No, I actually don't know the words to that song.
Right.
Okay, good.
Okay, well...
Let's move on. Geez, the Black Cap supporters support group back in session. After a valiant effort in the T20s to draw that 2-2, coming back 2-0, we've had our pants down and our botties spanked in this series. We're down 3-0 out of a five-match series in the ODIs in Pakistan. Admittedly, slightly unlucky in that second one. We scored about 500 runs and they chased it down. Fuck as a man. He fucked us as a man. Hard.
Fuck as a man.
Yeah, he did.
He's tremendous. I think this is like when South Africa used to be part of Super Rugby and your team would go over there and they'd lose in KwaZulu-Natal at 3 a.m. and no one watched it and you just pretended it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And I think that's what this whole Pakistan tour is for me. We just brush it under the rug. The casual cricket fans not watching. Yeah. We're not commentating it. The times are all over the shop. They've had a couple of 10:30 p.m. games which have been fine to watch.
Yeah.
And then a few like 3 a.m.ers, a few 4 a.m.ers. I think that we just strike a line through this one and all just pretend it didn't happen?
Yeah, I think so.
Because I haven't watched a ball of it, I'll be honest.
Yeah, admittedly, I haven't watched much of it either. I consume that by waking up in the morning and putting Crick Info.
Yes.
And just flicking through Crick Info and going, oh, okay, we lost.
Yeah.
Or there'd be a post from Grant Elliott, how long's Grant Elliott been over in Pakistan for?
Oh.
He's been over there about a month.
When was the last time his kids saw him? It's he's committing cultural... Well, he's not committing cultural atrocities.
That was Millsy.
He's actually doing a great job over there as the hairy Jav. But for me, I'm just waiting for us to get this out of the way and get to this Abu Dhabi tour. You know, this is an area of the world that's been underrepresented on the world stage, Abu Dhabi. You know, from a cricketing perspective, they've got some great talent over there, and it's about time that we finally got the Black Caps to the one spot. You know, you can walk out onto the street, throw a stone, and hit 5 people that want to see us play Abu Dhabi right now. So,
well, it's UAE. It's going to Abu Dhabi. It's against.
One of the UAEs, aren't they?
One of the Emirates. You're halfway there.
Yeah.
But that, of course, you're referring to the UAE tour that we're going to do on our way to England.
Yeah.
In kind of June, July.
I'm looking at it as we have to tack the England one onto the end of the UAE tour.
Yeah.
That's the one everyone really wants to see.
And just remember, UAE, their last international, they lost against Papua New Guinea. Real powerhouse.
Rigged.
Okay, we've already skipped to UAE. We're not even still talking about Pakistan. Cheers. What the fuck's going on with this podcast? It's all over the place. But look, I reckon the Pakistan tour is definitely the one where they sort of said, hands up who wants to go to Pakistan, and there's not much of a show of hands. And really, kudos to the bloody Canterbury Mafia. They turned up. They're all there. Yeah. They're all there. They're all basically Harry Nips is on the tour. Latham's there. Jenny Shipley turned up. So and Mr. Darcy. So they all went. But to be honest, it's not one of those tours where people care enough about. It's this is fulfilling a commitment. We've already we took off before a tour even started. Remember. And we had to go back and sort of
we
do
ran
it
away.
again. So now we're there and everyone's going, can we just get this Pakistan thing through? It's all about the World Cup at the end of the year. But there are some interesting things. Son of a Mitch with his tons, double tons. So
and Chapman.
He's on fire. Chapman in the T20, yes. I mean, he looks like he can do the step up to the 50 over. Harry Nips, not sure what he's doing at 6. You can't have Nips at 6.
No.
In the end, your number 6 is someone who's got to be an absolute firework. It's got to be full Katy Perry. You've got to, so whatever you do with Nips, he's either up top being a little sheet anchor for whoever, if it's a Finn Allen combo. Can someone explain who Bowes is? A bow, wow, wow.
Oh, Bows and Hose.
Bowes, yeah.
Bows and Hose, well, he's got a 50.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're sticking with him though, aren't they?
Well, no, that's good. I mean, I'm just saying it's one of those tours where whoever puts their hand up gets to go to Pakistan, and it's a tough tour. I mean, you can see what it's done to Kyle Mills. It's affected him deeply. Yeah,
it's taking a toll.
Yeah, it's taking a toll. It's taking a toll on field and off field, and it's taken a toll on Newstalk ZB cricket reporter Andrew Alderson, who couldn't quite get through his news update of him breaking the news that New Zealand have lost the series.
New Zealand have lost the third one-day cricket international against Pakistan in Karachi by 26 runs. The hosts have won the series 3-0, leaving the final 2 matches as dead rubbers. They posted 287 for 6 after getting sent in. New Zealand opener Tom Blundell 65 and Girl McConchie 64 not out.
See, I was worried for him when I heard that. I thought he was going to die live on air.
Well, it's emotional, isn't it?
Was he crying or was he actually choking?
I think it's partly emotions because he cares deeply about cricket. Alders. I think there was breakfast related as well.
Right. He had some food in there.
Yeah. What time was that?
8 a.m.
Yeah. It's definitely.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
You're dealing with milk. You're dealing with eggs.
Yeah.
Bacon, potentially a bacon and egg wrap situation.
Yeah. Well, I'm stoked he reads the news live. Because it doesn't happen much these days, especially on radio. It's usually put in the can 5 minutes beforehand to make sure that the pronunciation and the delivery is correct. But not Alders. Not Alders.
He's a liver.
He's a livey. He's a livey. There's not many liveys.
He's a Blake Lively caller. But the thing is, I think what's happened to him as well is his beloved cricket. It slipped away from him, Brian Waddle was probably, he was waiting in the shadows, lurking there, waiting for Wads to have his time. And now, I don't know, have we got cricket on this network?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not
but
yet.
You can imagine Alders just waiting.
Oh, yeah.
Waiting
Alders.
Waiting Alders. And then it's like, now there's no cricket. Okay.
Yeah, he's playing the long game.
Yeah.
He's even playing a long game.
Okay.
Super Rugby. How good was Saturday night? Look, I'm completely biased. So are you, James McOnie. But the game of the competition so far.
See, Manaia, this is the thing. I feel like are the Chiefs going to actually lose the final? Is that the whole plan? We go all the way to the final and then guess who's back? Mind you, the home final, this is the one thing that I think needs to be respected. They know that getting more cowbell, 23,000, that's the key, is to get that home ground advantage.
Did you see what the bell did to Mo'unga?
Yeah, it rattled him.
We couldn't deal with the tolls. When the bell's tolled, Mo'unga folded.
You rattled the bell, you rattled Mo'unga.
There's a direct correlation between the amount of cowbells in the grandstand and how well the Chiefs play. As a Crusaders fan, closeted Crusaders fan, I don't really tell too many people about it.
Yeah, well, you're on the border, aren't you?
But everyone can see what I'm doing in there. I just don't think I did a cursory Wikipedia search across the week, and I couldn't find another time where the Chiefs have beaten the Crusaders 3 times in a calendar year. So they may have shot their wad early this year.
Yeah, this is my concern, and that's what I was texting James McOnie immediately afterwards.
Yeah, we're all worried that they have peaked, they've climaxed. There are concerns about that, and you can see the look on their eyes, just like a lot of them was smoking at training yesterday. It was like after they had the big, and it's weird, you don't often see that.
Not these days.
Not these days, yeah. They're just like, okay, what's just happened? And they're feeling good about life because, there's a bit of There's a bit of BDE. There's a big dick energy walking around, and so this is what worries me massively as a Chiefs fan. They have the components. It's been a beautiful thing. I mean, they've put the Taranaki concrete worker, Daniel Rona, in its centre, and how good has the virus been?
So good. And then we've got Leonard Brown's coming back this week as well. So
my God.
The midfield's stacked. We've got Ramika Poihipi in there as well. Because I was wiping mana all off my chin and all off my face after that game. It was everywhere. And then all of a sudden, I think it might have been Joe Jury, the piece of shit from Canterbury, goes, mate, you're not going to beat the Crusaders 3 times in a row, mate.
No.
And I went, why did you just get a water blaster and wash all the mana off me like that? You piece of crap.
We need Joe Jury in our lives because statistically he knows. He's wandering around just going, I don't think I'd ever seen that.
Well, he's a numbers guy.
He's a numbers guy. He's always scrunching.
No, he's not. He's not a numbers guy. He's just a piece of crap.
He's a scat man.
He's a rain man.
Well, he's a rain man. He's a scat man. He's a stat man. He's all of the above. I was listening to an interview with Aaron Smith, and he was talking about when the Landers won that, was it 2015 Super Rugby title, 2016, against the Hurricanes, and he said that they lost in the round robin.
Yeah.
And Tony Brown said to them at halftime, at the end of that game, this isn't where you win championships. This isn't the one that we want to win. The one we want to win is when we play them in the grand final. And he knew
that is stating the obvious, though.
Well, it is stating the obvious. But I think he was just...
It's like, but if you say it and you put music underneath
that's
it,
right.
then it always seems way more important.
And make a doc about it.
What I just said then, black and white filter over the top. And then some dream sequence sort of stuff. But
cutaways of the people in the changing room.
That's right. But they've got a theme, the Crusaders. It's the last dance with Razor. He's going to be gone next year. I suspect a lot of the players are going to be gone as well. I just think what it does, though, is it raises the stakes for the for that grand final, and we're all jumping the shark because maybe neither of these teams are going to make the grand final. But
it's going to be Chiefs versus Crusaders. Come on,
surely, if you were ever going to rig a competition to have this final, this was the year to do it.
Actually, the Blues looked like they could have beaten the Chiefs that night.
Yes.
Were you commentating that one, Manaia? We were. I don't know. Well, I was shitting my pants that whole second half.
Well, this is my other point about this game and the Chiefs this season. Has been that no one's really talking about the Blues anymore. They've gone off the boil. For the last 2 years, it's all just been Blues, they're going to win. They won that title with a massive asterisk beside it.
They're sneaking in, aren't they?
Yeah. They are sort of sneaking in, but I'm just glad to not have to hear about them anymore. I'm sick of the Blues. They're the most punishing fan base in the country, the Blues. Awful.
Look, the one thing I love is that, I mean, you're calling it the last dance. Imagine that, Razor. Would he dance even if they lost? I mean, he should be doing something. Maybe more of a kind of a tragic, like more of a ballet,
a waltz.
Oh, yeah.
Or a pole dance, around the goalpost.
An interpretive dance.
Interpretive tragedy, like could have been so beautiful.
Dancing the Paso Doble. Yeah. Scott Robertson.
But almost by himself, though, I feel like he needs to go and do, what was that one from Always Sunny in Philadelphia? It was very emotional. Where McElhenney did the dance in front of his father in prison. I'm deep diving into a sitcom that nobody watches.
I love Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
So,
it's one of the greats. Danny DeVito's character.
The one that the sort of I guess the secret sauce for the mana is Clayton McMillan. Mm-hmm. He is so tough. Ex-copper, and you look at him, you go, you don't piss around with him. He is tough like Buck Shelford, old school tough.
Yeah.
And I compare him to like any coach around the world or around New Zealand. You go, okay, Razor, he's an eccentric breakdancer. That's cool.
Yeah.
Leon, nice guy, but still looks like the sort of guy who'd struggle to know what to write in the WhatsApp chat, And then you've got... But then Clayton just knows exactly what he's going to say and do. He brings it. And even around the world, you've got Eddie Jones, who's just an angry little elf. Andy Farrell, he's kind of like, he was a tough player, but he's just a nice guy. And then the French guy is always, they're always all over the place, whereas Clayton McMillan is freaking solid. Erasmus is kind of a weird, egotistical guy. And if it was a Hunger Games scenario, he would end them all in the first hour. And I reckon Erasmus would try to form an alliance with him, but he'd see right through him and club him with a patu. It would be all over. He'd be down. Erasmus down. That's how tough and how much mana there is with Clayton McMillan.
And then there'd be a 3-hour YouTube expose from Razzie afterwards as to what happened, why there needed to be an investigation into it.
It was a good idea. The alliance was there. We talked and, all that sort of stuff. I can't trust him. I can't trust these people. So, I feel like Clayton is just that sort of guy, the coach you want to die for.
Yeah. And so we've got the Chiefs are up against the Highlanders on Friday night down there at the Sistema Lunchbox. The Zoo's going to be back. Are there any chance?
I don't know. If you listen to the Champagne Rugby fellas, Tony Lyles, Sam Smith, earlier this week, they wanted to put a bet on for 13 plus in favour of the Landers. So it's just absolute blind faith. I mean, 13 plus. It wasn't even paying that much, which seems to suggest that the TAB think this is a bit closer than what we all sort of think it is. I don't know. If you were ever going to circle one to rest some players, it might be this one for the Chiefs, wouldn't it be?
Have they named? They're naming it. Team naming is today.
Right.
Yeah. But look, under the roof, that doesn't help because the one thing about going and facing the Landers in this incarnation of the team is there's not that fear factor. And I know they say we don't want to be complacent. It's not about complacency. They always it's more that when you go behind against a team that you feel you should be beating, you always feel like there are opportunities that are going to come your way. And there's just it's a bit more loosey-goosey, you know?
Yeah.
It's like serving when you're 40 love up. You know, you're just chucking in a little bit more, you know, zing on the second serve because it doesn't freaking matter, you know. And that's the difference when you're playing against this type of Landers. Some of the moves, you're throwing the crazy skip pass.
Yeah,
might come off, but hey, you're going to get another chance in 3 minutes' time. You know,
it'll look cool if it does, though.
Yeah.
I actually did see the team list. Freddie Burns is back in at first 5.
Oh yeah.
I think is Mitch Hunt who.
Mitchell Hunt.
Yeah, Mitch James. He's been
people
dropped
in the party.
Mitchell Hunt.
Yeah, sorry, Manaia. Yes.
No, I think that's pretty much it. So I think he. I mean, what is Freddie Burns? Would he be 40 years old? I don't know. He's
Montgomery. Monty is actually. He's a really good player.
Yeah.
But I don't know, the Mitchell Hunt thing. I always feel sorry for Mitchell Hunt. First of all, it looks like school kid's been given like an opportunity from Ripper Rugby, get out there, have a go. And he can do some incredible stuff, but then I don't know. I quite like the look of the big fullback. And
Freddie Burns?
No, who's not Freddie Burns? Who's the fullback? Gilbert, Sammy Gilbert. Sam Gilbert. He had a few games at first 5 last year. I'm like, maybe you put Sammy G. And of course he's got a relationship with the Bulls. His Bulls.
True. They're his Bulls. And the other game's Crusaders versus is that the Western Weakness? That's going to be an absolute hiding in Christchurch. And then the Blues are hosting Moana Pacifica on Saturday night as well. I think that's going to be a potential hiding as well. But some great trolling, which we'll get to in the Toppa Plays of the Week.
Oh, yes.
Of Moana Pacifica. But we'll get to that a bit later. The Waz. Are we ready to all jump off the bandwagon and go and support the Panthers?
I think that we are going to... Look, there's going to be a bit of a slide here. The thing that was put in the rundown was, can the Warriors stop the slide? I think the Warriors need to...
And do you believe in magic?
Do you believe in love after love?
I believe I'm time to say it.
I really don't think we're strong enough to beat the Panthers this weekend at Magic Round, despite the fact that we've named a pretty solid team. A lot of injuries. Tohu Harris broke his knee again, and then a week later, despite all of the doctors, I feel like you just imagine him walking in slow motion while the entire medical team is like hanging off him, like, no, don't go play rugby league this weekend, Tohu.
Rugby league.
And his knees are just flapping off the ends of his thighs, and he's going to play again this week. And so when you look at the team on paper, we've got a lot of dudes out, but it's actually an okay team. Chance is back, which seems in a direct violation of their new 11-day stand-down policy because we've got the 3 games in 12 days. Other than Tamari Martin being out, it's not an awful team that we've named. I don't think that they're going to run up 100 points on us like everyone had predicted at the start of the year, but I also don't think we're going to win. And then we've got the bye the next round. So
we just need to get to the bye.
Just embrace the downhill slide. I don't think we need to arrest the slide. I think we need to jump on our little cardboard box, slide down the snow-covered hill into the bye, and then we'll reset, have a warm cup of hot chocolate, get back into it after that.
You're a sicko.
Yeah, the good, great analogies there. Look, the thing about is Tohu Harris with Tofu knees. He worries me because it's one of those things where you know he's crucial. He's a big man with soft hands, and you love to see that in the forward pack, and all the mechanics sort of quite often work around him, acting as this pivot. But if you were brutally honest about the Warriors, they've always been punching above their weight in the current state they're in.
This year, you mean, yeah.
Yeah, this year. And so, this year. And so it's more that they still are missing a bit of X factor here and there. And I think, Montoya showed a bit, but in other incarnations of the Warriors, there's always been someone where you go, you know what, can't wait to see him get the ball. And we sort of need that, I think, as Warriors fans. It's like, who's going to be the guy who's going to have a bit of a breakout? Is
it Sean Johnson? Is it the resurgent Sean Johnson?
Is it Chance?
It's not quite Chance.
No, well, that's the thing. A Raiders version of Chance was that guy, right? So this is the whole thing. Every team seems to have a player where they give them the ball and something sort of happens. And the
razzle-dazzle.
The razzle. And the Warriors are based around a beautiful system with old Webster. And I think that we're kind of getting to that point where the system works, we're highly competitive, and now we need that sort of like that.
You need a Bobby Dazzler.
We need a Bobby Dazzler, a little X factor, someone to just go, game, scruff of the neck, I've just grabbed it.
Can I just bring up Magic Round? And I'm disappointed
that we're not going there
in the NRL and the players that there hasn't been more scandal or bad behaviour come out of every Magic Round, because basically you've got every single NRL team in one city for one weekend. And I don't know if it's the integrity unit doing their job or whether they're just locked up in their hotel rooms and not allowed to leave. But for me, it seems like a bit of a powder keg situation that hasn't gone off in the last 3 years, and I'm disappointed.
Hey, you're right. I guess this is like they've just sort of said to their players, look, can you just keep a lid on it for 48 hours? And for some reason, they've been able to. Either that, or they go full Hodaki ACC end-of-year party and go social media blackout.
Yeah. Where's your phones?
Where's your phones? Chuck it in the bucket. Nobody's posting a damn thing about this. So it might be that they're actually still getting up to all sorts, but it's just that you don't see any of it.
Right.
I don't know.
The other thing about it is, what's the story with Roger Tuivasa-Sheck? Can he join us by the playoffs? Are they going to release him from his contract? Is there going to be some little deal done?
Well, we talked about this, about whether Fozzie, someone needs to get on the phone to Fozzie and just go, Cameron George, get on the phone to Foz. Go, Foz, is he going to the World Cup? Foz go, no chance. And they go, any chance he could just maybe just come play a couple of games for us? What's the process? What's the process?
The Warriors let him go back to rugby early. So, pay it back.
And that's the thing. He's going to be that X factor that I think we need. Also, I know that sometimes you'll see it, like we talked about the concrete worker, the virus, Daniel Rona. Like sometimes you'll see somebody come out of nowhere. I wonder if the Warriors have got someone like that, just bubbling away, a project that Andrew Webster's working on, because there's talent everywhere. And you must think that there'll be somebody they just go, you know what, I'm going to wait. And then boom, the new Fusitua, the new whoever, Clinton Toppa, I'm going back deep into the archives.
Going deep. Yeah.
But,
you're going right into the bank.
But where is it? There could be someone.
They've got Metcalf, who, there was big raps on him, and he played a couple of preseason games. He tore his hamstring. They've got Volkman. He's in there as well. Tane Tuapiki sort of come out of nowhere, but he sat on the bench for the entire 80 minutes last week, and they didn't play him at all, so it's probably not him. But yeah, you're right. Maybe is there some bloke who's just going to come out of nowhere, like Sean Johnson did in 2011?
Yeah, exactly. We must have. Who else has looked good? There's a forward who's sort of been waiting to come back.
Demetric Sifakula? No.
Great name.
New Corte has been.
He's been quite good.
He's been quite good. Yeah. So anyway.
So we're going to put our TAB Game Day Good Punt on that one, and I'm leaning into the slide.
Yep.
I'm leaning into the slide, Manaia Stewart. I'm putting the $100 bonus bet on Nathan Cleary to score a try.
Oh, wow. That'll be paying good odds.
Yeah, paying $3.30.
Yeah, okay.
But, I mean, surely Nathan Cleary, he's a playmaker.
He is a playmaker, but, I mean, all of his plays are kicking for other people to score tries, so I think that's where the 330's coming from.
Okay. Is he in your fantasy team, Manaia Stewart?
Yes, yeah. I think you've got to have
You've got to have Cleary, right?
You're going to lose if you don't have Cleary.
So how many tries does he score on average then? Is he one every 3 games?
Yeah,
maybe?
one every 3. He might have scored like 2 tries this year. But he does. I can see it. There is a scenario in which we rush off the line to try and stop him, because that's the play. That's how you shut down Cleary, is get up in his grill. He steps and scores. So it's not a ridiculous bet.
And because our TAB pot, the ACC TAB pot's over $1,800 now. So we've been on the punt going pretty well. And when it gets to $2,000 or $3,000, I think we're going to split it up and share the love.
Yep.
Share the love. Right, the wide on of the week. I mean, for me, I was wide for about 48 hours after that Saturday night's game, the Chiefs mana. So that's an easy one for me and probably for you, James McOnie.
Oh, absolutely. I was actually working, but I got messages from G Lane. They're all expletive laden. I thought, oh no, what's happened? But of course, they were happy F-bombs from G Lane. And you know what? The way the game went down, even though there was some dubious calls in favour of the Chiefs in the first half.
How's the Falcon? How is the greatest Falcon ever seen on a rugby field that Luke Jacobson wore from Mackenzie? Yeah. Like, that hit him on the side of the head. I reckon that would have knocked out a normal human being.
Yeah, he's a cyborg, but he just carries on. Keep going. But that game, if you sort of, as the advertisement for Super Rugby, because there's so many naysayers about it, and the NRL's been epic this year, right, Manaia?
Gangbusters.
It has, Like, Golden Point games all over the frickin' place. Super Rugby needed something to actually put their hand up and go, we're good too, and quite exciting.
Yeah, and it was All Blacks galore as well, all over the park, in the back line, in the forward pack.
Yeah, and for me, it's my white on of the week too, even though my team lost, just for the exact reason that you just said. Super Rugby this year did need a marquee game. It delivered. It was the two best teams. It was probably the best game that we've seen in terms of, attacking prowess, in terms of falconry.
Drama.
Sellout crowd. Because
like you said, in the NRL, they've been having record bumper crowds this year. And Super Rugby's been a little bit disappointing, I think.
Yeah, well, you went down and you were doing the Export Ultra pre-game down there. At the helm down there. And you were saying, because we've done pre-games in Auckland, we've done pre-games in Queenstown, all over the place, and I think there's one coming up in Christchurch next weekend. At Robbie's.
Yep.
Yeah, but the fact that rugby just took over Hamilton, it was everywhere. It was on the billboards. It was everywhere.
From driving into the town, the billboards everywhere. Nice. Every single person on the side of the road was wearing kit. Everyone that came to the pub, they were all wearing it.
So G Lane and I was just thinking, Manaia, you were probably still in nappies in Waimati, but the thing is, I remember when rugby did take over the town like that. Remember, it's something that
92.
It's the perfect size city for it.
Yes.
Like you say, you drive in, you went straight to the helm, was it? Yeah. And you're close to the ground, so everyone's just converging. That's
exactly it.
Perfect,
everyone comes from the side streets. Everyone comes down.
They know they've got their parking spot. They know.
Yeah, they know where to go.
The secret spot. Come over the old boys' ground. Come through the graveyard. Dump your bottles in the graveyard.
There was a wash over the city that I think I said on another podcast earlier this week, but it doesn't really happen in like Wellington. Certainly doesn't happen in Auckland. Even Christchurch, you could be forgiven for not knowing that there was a Crusaders game on. But Hamilton was just a buzz. And a dear friend of the Alternative Commentary Collective and father of Braden Enor, Stewart Enor is his name.
Oh, Stu! Shout out to Stu.
He was listening to the commentary that we did last Friday, and he
a lot of singing in there.
I was about to say, I wouldn't call it a commentary; I'd call it a musical.
So he became quite a running theme in the commentary, and I believe he had a response as well, Manaia.
Yeah, so he had mentioned that he had told Braden Enor's sister, Courtney, who works for the ACC, that these commentators are pissed. And so she texted us that. And then
it wasn't far off the mark.
We were sort of going,
we were pissed off. And so she sent that correspondence in. We read it out on the commentary. And he said to her, and then subsequently to me the next day, a man should be able to say what he wants in the comfort of his own home without it ending up on a broadcast.
Not this time, Stewie!
And so for that, I'd like to apologise. But we've buried the hatchet, and then he offered me tickets to come and watch the game with the family.
Oh, everything's worked out perfectly. Well, I've had a serious talk to Courtney about Braden asking for. He's clearly in a size L, but it's like, get some double X in here, and just Braden just needs to order a couple, and then everybody's fine.
It's a looser fit.
Yeah, exactly. Come on now.
Right, attendance required this weekend. There's a massive Super Rugby three-way. It's the Chiefs Highlanders Friday night 7 p.m. And then we've got Crusaders versus the Western Weakness at 4:30 on Saturday afternoon. And then, of course, the Blues versus Moana Pacifica at 7 p.m. Saturday. And then, of course, on Saturday as well, the Warriors versus the Panthers. And that's on Sky Sport 6. All those others are on Sky Sport 9 and iHeartradio.
The Panthers, holy shit. It doesn't get much easier. The one good thing I was going to say with and the Warriors are part of this as well, is that there's not as, last year in the NRL, there's so many blowouts. It was 8 games a weekend and 5 of them would be blowouts.
Yeah, 100%.
And now everything's tightened up. And frickin' West Tigers beat the Panthers last weekend.
I know. Well, this is the issue.
And so now we've got the Panthers on the back of a loss.
We've got a wounded Panther.
Wounded Panther coming at us.
An angry Panther.
An angry, wounded Panther. Nothing worse.
The Tiger's got its tail.
Yeah.
And it's now going to be just frothing, furious. I've watched videos on the internet of Panthers getting into towns. I believe in India, is that where they live?
Yeah, attacking the scooter riders.
Yeah. Attacking the scooter riders. Hard to deal with a panther, an urban panther. Very difficult to deal with. So when you're
Can
in
we
Brisbane,
put some of those videos up on the ACC if you got the Panther videos? Because I always feel like as long as nobody dies, I always think that is one of the nightmares that you're the most vivid. You know, is the big cat nightmare.
Yeah.
And you're like, why am I dreaming about? I mean, I live in New Zealand. The only chance is that maybe someone's got, like that guy from Auckland Zoo who got into the rhino enclosure, released the lions. That's about the only chance of it ever happening. But it is a real dream, like a nightmare, isn't it?
Oh,
a stress dream.
You say that. Remember when we had the floods at the start of the year? They were calling all hands on deck down to the Auckland Zoo to get the alligators out of their enclosure before it burst its banks, and all of a sudden you've got alligators in Westmere.
Do you know
there you go. That's another one. Another stress dream.
I'm going to say I haven't seen those motherfuckers move in 15 years, okay? Those alligators. So, look, I think they'll be fine. I think they'd be in Westmere, but they'd just be sitting outside the Westmere butcher doing fuck all because every time I go, my kids are like, everyone's throwing stones at them.
Oh,
like, they don't move.
It's like my favourite thing to do at that zoo is where that guy jumped into the rhino enclosure and was swimming around in that pond. That's where the hippos used to be. They haven't been there for about a decade. But every time I'll walk past there and go, no, there are hippos. You've just got to wait for ages. And then come back about half an hour later and see who's still there, waiting for the hippos
They can hold
to
their breath
resurface.
for at least 10 minutes.
Yeah, they can hold their breath for
What
half
happened
an
to
hour.
the hippos? RIP, or they just moved them on?
It was a flood. They burst the banks and they're just out roaming the inner suburbs of West Auckland. I don't know,
The hippos are out.
Well, it's like the hippos that came out of Pablo Escobar's estate. Remember that?
Oh,
They're still in
that's
Argentina.
Yeah, now they're both taken over.
Yeah.
They're like a pest now.
Yeah, so-
Pablo's hippos.
Pablo's hippos. It's much like
Wait
the
a second.
Waitakere hippos.
If you're going from Colombia to Argentina, that's freaking long distance hippos, mate. That's why they're going all the way across Brazil. It's like,
They can move.
Well, once they hit that Amazon,
And they
once
just cruise
hit
down the Amazon.
Have you not seen a hippo go over the Andes? Right.
I'd love to see it.
Anyway, that's it for the agenda. Hey, look, if you want to join us in Paris in September, or October, I think it might be, on the Export Ultra Beer Garden Tour, text Paris to 3236 and you could be joining us. That's it for the agenda this week. Catch you later.
You've been listening to the ACC's Agenda podcast. For more episodes, subscribe on iHeartradio or wherever you get your podcasts.